Alright. Hello everyone and welcome back to NEF1 for what is the 5th round of the NEF1 Championship Season 10 for the Australian Grand Prix. And as you can see, it is not exactly a dry track in front of you. Whether those conditions will remain for the entire qualifying and the Grand Prix, well, that is news that unfortunately, or that is information that unfortunately I do not possess. The drivers do, so hopefully they'll share a bit of the intel. 17 minutes worth of qualifying remaining here, and it's an 18-minute session to decide whomever starts on pole position. Tess is definitely one of the favourites to do well here. And championship rival Squidge 2017 is not racing tonight. So Tess, with a massive opportunity to jump ahead in the Drivers' Championship. We'll see if it's able to take advantage of that. Now, only a couple of points ahead after the controversy last week out, which saw him and the championship rival Squidge come together at the final corner, at the final braking zone of the race. Go watch that one if you have missed it. But then, now, maybe a little less competitive out front with Squidge not being there, or are we going to see someone be able to break the fold and do well here, especially in changing conditions. Intermediate tires are out then for absolutely everyone, so this is going to be fascinating to watch. I believe it's the first intermediate or wet qualifying session we've had this season, and on this game cycle as well. We've had a bit of rain previously, but not like this. So then as Recon's going through, so is Luna and a BT. As the chat's remaining relatively calm at the moment. If someone does have a weather update for me, I would love to have it, as Noah's coming out of the pit lane, or has come out of pit lane a while ago. It's just on about just starting another flying lap. Wiggins coming round sector 1 as we speak, but who's going to be first across the line? And it's going to be Recon 21 in that Haas. Braking relatively late for the first corner, gotta cut it just a little bit, nib that right wheel on the grass. Try to get as straight as line as possible before you head into the braking zone of turn 3. Into third gear in the dry, second in the wet. Nice and easy on the power now. Going to be very, very easy to lose traction throughout this complex. It's a tight, high curb as along the outside of that corner. Got to avoid that one. Definitely can catch you out, as I learned in practice a little earlier on. Here we go then. Now it's all flat out before the left-right chicane of what I believe is turn 9 and 10 around this circuit. I'm not completely sure, but I think it is. No DRS, obviously, under the wet conditions. It's a bit scrappy at the moment from Recon, just touching a wall before the sector split there. We'll see how his sector 3 is, and this is the sector we're really going to be feeling the effects of that weather. So how are track conditions? They are looking treacherous, and you can just visibly see this is about the time we would have expected for a dry pole position. Meanwhile, Recon's coming around the final corner just then, so it's about a 15-second loss, you would imagine, around this play. 10-second loss, thereabout, for a lap around this place in the wet conditions. Luna's coming around the final corner then. Could be flat under dry conditions. It's absolutely not flat in wet conditions. Noah goes fastest by a couple of tenths, and Luna does a very, very good lap of a 26.230. She's come prepared with wet setup potentially. If nothing else, a very, very handy piece of skill in wet conditions. Djokovic, usually pretty handy in these types of conditions as well. He's coming around the final corner. What is he going to be able to do? Bit of a slidey slide coming out of the last turn, and he's going to come across for a 27.105. Just slower than Matty Adam, who's come across for a 27 flat. But Luna right now has a massive advantage out front. No one's been able to get near that. Tess is out on an outlap then, as Wiggin is now running up to the final corner. Get a good run through there, Wiggin really did. And now powering onto the start-finish train. It's going to be a mid-27, a 27.7. So ahead of Recon, ahead of Emrain, and ahead of Kit is on the 28.8. So lap times will be increasingly faster, as Ray's been able to pull off a 26.276. But that weather update really would come in handy. As here comes a BT then across the start finish line for 27.381. It's a very, very decent time for this map in P6. And then championship leader YPC Tess. So now just Tess, sorry. Complete muscle memory there. Just heading into sector 2, and this is quick from Tess here. You can just see how he's pushing every single fiber of that car and just going that bit quicker than maybe it should. See light braking zone, then into turn 9 and turn 10 turns into a medium braking zone into wet conditions. And now gonna pick up a lovely little toe off that Williams head. Is gonna do nicely to get out of the way. And Tess into braking zone, chucks the car in there with a lot of confidence in it. And this could definitely challenge the Luna 26.230, if not be significantly quicker. We'll have a look. This looked a mighty fast lap indeed. There we go then, Tess rounds the final corner and across the line. This is going to be a good lap. It's going to be not quite good enough though. At 26.781. Luna at the moment, the fastest driver out there. She has mastered these wet conditions. Ray is shortly behind her on a 26.276. Tess sitting in P3, Matty in 4th, and Djokovic is 5th. And we're having a slight chance of rain in the Grand Prix, but it's not a confirmed, it's not a guarantee. As according to our sources, the track might dry up in about 10 minutes time, but is it going to dry up enough for us to see even a run on those soft tires at the end? iWatt is trying it. I believe it's probably well too early for an attempt at that, as iWatt is just about to demonstrate by sliding into the wall and losing a front wing end plate. And now he has a car coming up behind as well, and is that Luna? Yes, it is, on an outlap. But iWatt got to be careful here now on these tires to not cause an obstruction for being on the wrong tire at the wrong time. As here comes the McLaren at full racing speed. That is a BT. Driver has been compromised or been given a massive slipstream, maybe the first stage of the straight. A BT van into the hardest braking zone of the circuit, into the 3rd sector. A very, very tight right hand, tightens up on the apex as well, especially with that red sausage curb on the inside. There's a lot of those here that you do not want to touch. Very, very sharp line through that corner for a lot of drivers. BT for the final corner then gets 2 massive tank slaps on, so it's not going to do benefits to his lap. But he's going to be improving by a little bit. Jumps into P5, and that's a good attempt for Mr. BT at 26.959. And Tess been able to improve as well, and he's improving further. So is the question that a couple of these drivers are just fueled up for a couple of laps here, and as the fuel wears down, the tires start getting into the groove as well. Such is the deal in intermediate conditions. You can usually find a little bit of time by staying out on soft tires for a bit longer than a lap. It'll be interesting to see here how much fuel was Tess on at the beginning of the run and how much fuel is he on now. How much is that Mercedes improving about halfway into the session? So then rounds the final corner, does Tess then. Is this going to be good enough for provisional pole position? Currently held by Luna. Yes, it is. 25.748. Smashes the provisional P1 time by half a second. But Luna is improving as well. A lot through the 2nd sector. Can she improve even further through that 3rd sector? And really prove that she is a candidate for pole position here. Just sliding a little bit through that final sector, but it's looking fast and it's under control. That car by Luna. And this is going to be a quick time, and it is going to be P1 by 0.6 of a second just after Tess. The track conditions not going to be significantly different. Wow, that's a lap and a half by Luna. Wow, a 1:25.1 in these conditions. 0.6 quicker than our championship leader. 8 tenths quicker, almost 9 tenths quicker Then Noah 48, who's been looking strong here as well. Ray is not able to improve on this lap, it's been invalidated. BT was not improving on that previous one, but he might have charged up his batteries to go again. And DRS has been enabled by race control and is now the question that we might see someone out on soft tyres. iWatt's believing it's time to go. If it is time to go, then he's going to be giving that away to absolutely everyone here, and that is going to change the outlook of this session quite severely. We're going to be watching this from iWatt with interest as he starts his flying lap. Kit 127.116. It might be a bit early for those softs still, but DRS has been enabled by race control, and that is going to give everyone quite a bit more pace down these straights. 3 DRS zones around this circuit, 4, sorry. Probably worth 6-7 tenths of a lap in qualifying. 6-7 tenths of a second per lap, just being able to open that rear wing. Keep an eye on iWatt now. He's coming around the final corner, so we'll go on board with iWatt for this run then, especially heading into sector 1, see what kind of a time he'll be able to produce. DRS open, battery deployed. How much confidence can you carry though into these corners? Can't carry too much. You see the car just wants to go away from him every single corner. Matty's about to cross the line in just a little bit of time. Is he going to be able to snatch provisional pole away from Luna? He's coming into the pit lane. BT's improved past Luna by a half a tenth of a second as iWatt is coming up to the first sector split and is going to be about a 30 dead. Yeah, a 30.2 for a first sector time. It's decent, but we don't have a reference as of yet. Is anyone on intermediates about to come across the first sector split? Kid at the moment was improving on his previous attempt. Can we have someone who is just out there? No, we can't, unfortunately. iWatt's then now into the third sector, and this is where we're going to see a visible difference if those soft tyres are working. Noah, the track conditions are clearly improving. No more rain onto the circuit now. It's a rainy first half of qualifying. Noah's improved to 24.457, half a second quicker than second place man ABT. Now iWatt is going to be coming across that line, and this looks quicker than anything we've seen before this session. It's not quite going to get there. It's a 25 flat. Half a second of Noah, so those intermediate tyres might just be slightly better, but that means they're going to be wearing out relatively quickly now as well. Wiggins coming across the first sector split, not improving, and I don't believe he's trying to as well. As for Recon, we can see his sector time. Kit's coming into the pit lane. So then, we're going to have a couple of minutes worth of, I believe, soft tyre running. Ray is out there on soft tyres, so is Djokovic. So here we go. Soft tyres are now in effect. It's a bit of a shame that, because Luna really was incredible under these intermediate conditions. Let's see what she's going to be able to do in dry conditions, or slightly dry. It's going to be damp out on circuit, so we're not going to be seeing these incredible lap times that you sometimes can see around here. But expect to shave off a good couple of seconds per lap. As Wiggin comes into the pit lane, here goes Raven, and he's improving by well over a second in the first sector alone. But the question is, has he timed this right? Purple in sector 2, fastest of anyone, and that's to be expected, but it's early. The track is going to continue on improving till the very last moment. I reckon whoever gets the last lap could be the person on pole position here. The track conditions could prove that vital to time to perfection. Now though, if Ray pushes his on... Yeah, he's coming into the pit lane. He wants one go at the end of this session, so Ray would have gone fastest there. As Djokovic's invalidated this lap, he's not going to have time to hurry back to the pits now, so Djokovic is a bit screwed here. Djokovic has gotten the strategy of this session all wrong, unfortunately. Makis is out there relatively early, so he is, I believe, going to be the first one to actually set a time on soft tyres. He is going to go up to provisional pole position. Everyone's going to be piling out of pit lane with about a minute and 50 to go. And we're going to have a massive car park in Sector 3 and potentially people having their runs very much interrupted. Remember, even if you're a faster driver, if you have someone maybe struggling a little bit in a fast lap ahead of you, they're still allowed to set it. You'll just have to navigate that traffic. So, for example, say Recon is ahead of Tess on their final run. Recon struggling, but still visibly improving as well. He's not obliged to let Tess go. Tess will just have to deal with it and stick behind him for the time being, or actually try to overtake him, as long as he can do so responsively. So that's the situation that you find yourself in. Tess has done well to avoid that by coming out first at this train. Smack is now into Sector 3, is looking decent. So he's charging up his battery, mind you. So he's going to be given this one final go here, but he's going to have to deal with a lot of traffic on this final lap, let me tell you that. But here we go for Marcus then. Djokovic has got to make a count on this lap. 1:36 to go, but he has traffic ahead of him that he's going to have to navigate with. It's one Sauber, two Saubers actually, a Williams and an Alpine ahead of him. So the Williams might be able to provide him a little bit of slipstream around one of the straights. We'll wait and see. But Djokovic now is out hunting for time. So is Noah 48. Where do we find the current pole sitter going through Sector 1? So this is going to come down to the very final moments. Tess is going to be first out of that field to get a time in. Darren has been able to go quickest out of anyone by 1:23.33. Oh, and that is a massive miscommunication by the two Williams. That is Wigan not being aware of who was coming up behind him, and that has ruined Djokovic's qualifying. It's the first ever time we've seen controversy between these two that have been teammates for so long. Wigan massively impeding Djokovic, who's qualifying with this, is probably over. Noah 48 then is looking strong under these conditions. Now, a lot of traffic navigate in Sector 3. As mentioned, it's a car park there that now got to get going because faster cars are approaching, and this is going to be an interrupted run for a lot of people. Marcus goes quickest. We expect Noah to go quickest in just a moment. He does by over a second. Here we go then. It is a final melee to decide the pole sitter. Tesvo has clear air ahead of everyone. This is a beneficial situation to be in for a driver like Tess. He got out there just slightly earlier than everyone else and avoided these pileups, these car parks, and now he's going to be able to make a lot out of it. 1:20 flat is the time to beat for Tess as he's going to come around the final corner, and that is almost flat. That might have been flat, and this surely is going to be good enough to carry him to pole by well over a second. 1.4 tenths of a second quicker than Noah, who just set his lap. Luna goes up to P2. Who is going to be next across the line? It is going to be Reina. Matty goes quickest, 1:18.636. The track is still improving. Reina is about to cross the line. What is he going to be able to do in that Sauber? Quick over a lap, not quick enough. P5. Next car to cross the line is going to be one of the Williams, I believe. Djokovic jumps into P5. Then we have the Mercedes of Iwas about to come across the line. Noah's down in 6th. Luna is 5th. Recon up in 4th. Ray up into 3rd. Iwas in 8th. Then we have a McLaren. Both of those have already come across the line. And Marcus is on a lap, but it's not going to matter. Matty takes pole position in Australia, his first of the season. Tess finishes in P2 in qualifying. It's a good effort. Matty just outdoes him at the end with Ray in P3. That is a result that Alpine so desperately needed at this stage of the season. Recon in 4th, Holman in 5th. Luna will be heartbroken with the end of that qualifying in 6th. That was still a very, very good result. Noah in 7th, Djokovic in 8th, Iwas in 9th, and then Reina in 10th. Controversy. Wigan and Djokovic then severely tangled together. Beatty, we're hearing, had his run interrupted, unfortunately. We'll look at that after the race, I am sure.